Hello, everyone. Happy Wealthy Wednesday. I hope everyone is doing great and had a wonderful holiday and happy New Year, everyone. For those of you who are here, let me know who's joining in the comments. And thank you for being here tonight. I'll be watching Bedside Baptist because it is Arctic outdoors, y'all. It is so cold. So I am we be praising the Lord right on here in the house, okay, where it's warm. I am freezing. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I have on this coat. I got a blanket. I'm ready. So welcome in. Hey, Natasha, that's my boo. Hey, Arrow, I'm so jealous. I want to be in the southeast, not the northeast. Okay, I tried to escape, but I had to come back home to my boo. So we're going to jump on in because I'm sure you all probably have plans for this evening. We are discussing chapter 4, which is on savings. But you all know that I love to put a different spin on everything, and I'm so glad Errol is here tonight because I'm always vibing with what Errol says and his philosophies on money. So Errol, I'm probably gonna be using some of your examples. Hey Tavia, it's so great to have you on here. Long time. Okay, so if you have a copy of my book, it's called Think, Learn, and Feel Rich. We are discussing chapter 4 tonight. And even if you don't have the book, I'm going to be breaking down savings, right? And it ain't going to be your boring version of savings because that's not who I am. Okay, I like to have a good time. So, the first concept that I want to talk about, we are on page I believe it is 36 in your book because my copy that I use, page 35. So page 35 for everyone if you are in the book, but if you're not, that is okay. I will make sure you understand what we're talking about. So the first concept I want to talk about is paying yourself first. So one thing that my mom said that my grandpa always taught her was no matter what you make, you always give yourself something first. And I know that is a controversial statement, and here's why. I was taught, even though my mom was taught something different, you pay your bills and then hopefully you have something left, and then you can go ahead and thank you, Jen. Hey girl. Pay your bills, and then if you have something left over, you save, right? Now, I've always been an investor. I started investing at 16. So investing was kind of like my savings, but guess what? Sometimes you just need liquid cash. Because I know, for example, on my birthday this year, my car broke. I had two flat tires. But you know what? I didn't even care. I still had a great birthday because you know what? I had the money in the bank to go ahead and take care of those tires. So I want us to, if you haven't gotten that habit, I want us to think about, especially as we go into 2026, do you pay yourself first? And I know most of the people on here, since I know y'all, I know that y'all probably do pay yourselves first. But for those of you who may be watching the recording and this is a different concept for you, I want you to just think it over. What would it feel like if you actually paid yourself first? And if you're a Christian like me, pay God, then you, and then pay your bills. Because what it does, wealthy people, and I'm kind of jumping ahead in the book. This is later on in the chapter, but thank you, Tavia. But this is the thing. Wealthy people make sure they take care of them. That's why they have wealth. Wealth is maintained by making sure you store something away, right? So, thank you, Jen. Yes, I tried to stay positive during that experience. You know why I was positive? Because I had an emergency fund. Guess what? If I was two tires down with no money on my birthday, that would have sucked. Okay. Like that would not have been fun. Okay. And so Natasha says a portion of all I earn is mine to keep. And you are worth it. Okay. Because guess what? Yes, we should pay our bills. I'm not saying be delinquent or anything like that, but these people over here getting rich and you over here like, not y'all. Okay, not y'all. But some people are over here like, I don't have any money and I have an emergency. Yeah, that's not us. That's not going to be us. So I want us to consistently prioritize putting money aside for ourselves. And I don't care, as long as you start and build that container, you are then building what's called wealth consciousness. Okay. Because wealth, in order to be wealthy, you have to have money stored up, right? Exactly. Not us, not me, not none of us. That's not how we roll. The other thing, so this is from Arrow, y'all. So shout out to Arrow. If y'all don't know who Arrow is 416's favorite. Okay. I don't need where's 416? Is that Florida Arrow? He's the fave. Now, a general rule of thumb in the finance world, we're still on page 35, but I'm gonna have you turn to page 38 in a minute. Is that in order to calculate your emergency fund. Now, emergency fund is not necessarily every single thing that you spend money on. Oh, Toronto. Okay, okay. I still haven't been to Toronto. I've been to Canada a couple of times. I got to get to Toronto. I heard it's a good time to turn up. But we're not talking about that today. Okay. We're not gonna turn up at the carnival and everything. But a general rule of thumb is 3 months of living expenses. And on page 38, which we'll get to shortly, there is a chart that you can use to kind of break down what your actual living expenses are. And if you're in Arrow's class, he talks about cost of living. You need to know this number regardless of what you're doing because, you've been to Carnival. I'm so jealous. I'm still trying to go to Carnival and jump up with my husband, but he's not the jump up type. But anyway, I digress because I like a good. I'm a Soca fanatic, so I can talk about that all day. I digress. So, when you're thinking about building your emergency fund, it doesn't have to be every single expense you have. It is the necessity. So, when I'm working with my clients and we're doing their spending plan and I'm helping them calculate their emergency fund, we're looking at the basics. They call it the four corners, right? The housing, the transportation, the food, and utilities. That is what you absolutely need. Okay, in order to live. All the other stuff that we do, that's not absolutely necessary. So we don't need to include that in our when we calculate our cost of living, which we then multiply that number by 3, 6, or 9, depending on where you are in life, because you might have children that are dependent on you. So you might want to have more than 3 months. You might be self-employed like myself. I had like about 9 months of emergency fund when I quit my job. And I was like, yeah, we need a cushion because again, you don't know how your revenue may be unless you have some type of subscription program. And that's not my business model. So that is the basics on emergency fund. Okay. All you're going to do is use page 38. That's your life work. Cause I give you all life work. And you're going to calculate that. I know Errol knows it. I know Jen knows it. I know Natasha. I know a lot of y'all already know what your cost of living is. You probably already know what your emergency fund is. And it's probably already funded. So congratulations and praise the Lord as we go into 2026. The next thing I want to talk about is the fund saving, though. This is what I call fund saving. It's called sinking funds. So if you turn with me to page 36, we're going to go on to sinking funds. Anybody have sinking funds out there? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you have a sinking fund in the chat. Okay. So this is on page 36. And if you're not familiar with a sinking fund is basically any type of savings account for expenses that you are preparing for in the future, but you don't necessarily spend money on them monthly. Okay. So I have a sinking fund. I save for all of my annual expenses monthly. I'm going to repeat that. I save for my annual expenses monthly. Why? I do not want my spending plan to be disrupted because I got to pay this $1,000 bill once a year, right? No. When it's time for that annual expense to come, I move it from my savings, my sinking fund, over to my checking, and then bam, it gets paid. It does not disrupt what's going on in my spending plan. Because I've had people say, oh, I can't do it this month because I had to pay my HOA. If you're not familiar with HOA is homeowners association fees. And some people pay them annually. I pay mine monthly. Some people do it quarterly. However, your HOA works. Anyway, my point is that I don't let anything that's not monthly disrupt my monthly cash flow. So I recommend if you, unless you just have a lot of discretionary income and it doesn't matter when things come up, I just recommend putting something to the side every month, and then bam, when that annual expense comes up, you already have it. Um, yes. Thank you, Natasha. I love it. Yes. Paying things up front, bam, is out the way. Doesn't have to disrupt your plan. Yep. Yeah, we need that. Yes. Exactly. Like you might have wanted to do that, Jen. And if you set aside, so for example, if you're under 50, right, you can do 7,000 a year. Over 50, you can do 8,000 a year into your individual retirement accounts, right? And so you can save monthly, right? So if you're under 50 and you can save 7,000 annually, that is equivalent to $583.33 a month. You could go ahead and put that aside, and then at the end of the year, boom, drop the whole 7 grand and move on with your life. Exactly. It's okay, Jen. You know, for now, you know, for 2026, you could save $584 a month and you're good to go. And then for me, the type of I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'll give you some examples of travel funds that I have, right? Or excuse me, sinking funds that I have. So one, my absolute favorite, and I just talked to Natasha about this, is my travel fund. I am an avid traveler. I literally do not have a car in New York because not because I live by a subway though. Okay, because I don't and I do drive. But I literally do not have my own car because I want to spend money on plane tickets. So that is where I'm like, no, the airplane is my other car. So we're not spending I just have to share a car with my husband. So a travel fund is something that I have. Now, I don't know, have you guys seen on the memes and stuff that say, I forgot what country, there's a country in Europe that's deemed travel um as a treatment for depression. And I was like, I could definitely see that. Like I completely agree with that. So yes, so that's one thing that I have because travel is my love. Another type of sinking fund that I save for is car repairs. Well, not anymore because I'm about to sell my car, and that's gonna go towards my capital base. Shout out to Errol because I'm building that capital base, so I'm selling my car. So y'all probably like, but you said you didn't have a car. My car lives in Houston because when you go to Houston, you have to have a car. But I'm just gonna have to borrow my mama's other car and I'm about to use that money for my capital base. So, yep, exactly. See, Natasha and Jen speaking my language, y'all. First of all, one day we just gonna have a private jet, and I'm just gonna help to pay for fuel. Or if somebody wants to gift me they just be like, "Girl, just take it. I got you." Or somebody wants me to be on their yacht. Hey, you know what I mean? Please and thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm about to send that capital to work. See, let me tell y'all what Arrow did to me. Hey, Janice, welcome. Oh, Tavia, this is a good question right here. Oh, I like when people ask questions. Okay, so yes, Tavia, I everything is in one account. I have an amazing account. And Janice is coming on a jet with us, so praise God. I have an amazing savings account that actually it breaks down each of my sinking funds for me. So I know exactly how much is in each sinking fund. So I can definitely hook you up with that link. Let me get that for you and put it in the chat for y'all because this, like, it basically says you have this much for travel, you have this much for your house down payment, you have this much for, like, I also have my business savings account because I have savings and personal savings accounts, but then I also have a business savings account because my business also has annual expenses and quarterly expenses. So that money is saved in an account, but it's all one account, but it's actually broken out. So I don't have to remember, well, do I have 500 over here or is it 500 for that? It's clearly labeled and I can move money accordingly. Okay. And so Natasha is saying that we're taking queens. I'm saying goddess trips on the jet to the yacht. That's exactly what we're going to be doing, Natasha. So that's why we have to do what Errol told us to do. This is what Errol told us to do. Send that capital to work. But we have to have the capital. So going back to what I originally stated, if we don't pay ourselves first, where's this capital going to come from that we can put to work so that our friends, which is our money, goes out and make more friends and brings those friends back, and we have this big party, right? It's really great. It's just real simple, right? So let me put the account that I use. I'm gonna give y'all my referral link. Hopefully it does write refer. See, there we go. That's good. Refer a friend, copy. Thank God for Macs because you can just do stuff from your phone. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna link. That's above my pay grade, but I just posted that you might just have to just copy it straight out, and then it should give you the link to get the because basically if you use my link, then you get an extra 0.75% on your APY, which is your interest rate. But if you can also, if you want to just text me, I can also, oh, it linked. Okay, praise the Lord. There you go. All right. So let's keep on going. So I kind of told y'all some of the accounts that I have. So I would love to know what type, if you do decide to create sinking funds, what would you create your sinking funds for? What would you create your sinking funds for? Okay, and we're going to move on to page 38 and 39 now. What time we got? Okay, we're doing good. Excellent. So that's the account that I use that I just put in the comments. If you're watching a replay and you would like this information, I will also link it in the show notes. I got to get better with doing that kind of stuff. If you would like a copy of my book, you can also go to my website, which is on the screen below. And you can, I'll ship you a copy. Yes. Okay. I love it. Black Velma is gonna have a book fund here. Look, I probably need to have a book fund, because me and Natasha just talked about like 45 minutes about our books. Okay, we love books. I literally read 2 books in like 4 days this week, and I'm reading another. I was reading 3 books this week, and I'm determined to finish them all. And I finished 2 already. So this link is the account. So Jen is asking, what is the link that I just posted? I just posted the link to the account that I use for my sinking funds because it automatically breaks down how much I have in each category. I can transfer money in and out by category, and I have one account. It's just one account. I don't have to have an account over here, an account over there. It just makes it simple. So that's the account that I use, is the high yield savings account. Okay. And why do I use a high yield savings account? Well, I'm glad y'all asked. How many of you have actually checked your traditional bank savings account rate lately? If you haven't, I implore you before you go into 2026 to check it out and see if you're happy with the rate of return that you're getting on your money. Right? Because Errol then told us, y'all, to put our capital to work. He didn't told us what to do. Okay. So don't take it from me. I got Errol in here backing me up. And yes, very good. This is what I like to see. So this is a great rate of return. This is what we're looking for. Okay. This is what we want. It needs to be 4% and up. And also, on that note, I don't recommend you have just hundreds of thousands of dollars literally sitting in a savings account, because wealth grows by circulating it, right? You want it to deploy it, let it go out and make more friends, because Jen has already told us, like, maybe it's only Jen and I, we want more friends. So you want to deploy the money in a wise, use wisdom and discernment. You have to understand what you're doing when you deploy the money, and you want that money to come back with some friends, and your capital base is growing, and then you can continue to recycle it over and over again to make additional money. Right? But you got to have some money, right? Yes, we want some money, babies. Yes, make the money go to work. Make these CEOs go to work, right? I love what Errol be like, make Zuckerberg go to work. Like, Errol, I be going crazy. I love going to your classes, okay? Because you be speaking my language. I'm like, yeah, because I'm trying to sit on the couch and read with Natasha and build my library. This is what I want to be doing all day. I just want to be like, highlight. This is great. And then I want to share what I learned. That's it. That's what I want to be doing. Okay. So life work is page 38 and 39. Okay. In the book, if you have it. Exactly, Errol. Tell them, yes, send them to work. Okay, get them. Let them do the work. Yes, ain't nobody coming to save us. Please, and I'll be like, exactly, Errol. It ain't happened yet, and I doubt that is unless Jesus come back. That's the only one. Anyway, okay, I digress. Y'all, I think finance is fun, so I do a lot of laughing, but I'm like legit serious. Okay, so life work pages 38 and 39, and I want you to check out your interest rate on your savings account. If you are not happy with it, you can use the link that I provided for you, which is a high yield savings account. Or if you have a place that has a higher rate of return, go for it. I just like that account just simply because it makes it easier for my sinking funds. All right, so let's keep it moving. We're doing good on time. We are now going to go to page 40. Okay, so we already kind of talked about the concept of, paying God first, pay yourself, and then pay your bills. Okay, that's the main thing I want you to leave with. If you're not already doing that, you need to be at the top of the equation. Okay, and no compromising. Don't negotiate with yourself, because it's easy to save money and then it goes right back into the checking account. That defeats the purpose. The next concept I want to leave with you um, is this concept of two parallel paths. And I got this from this company called Currents, right? So this is not an idea I came up with, but it makes a lot of sense. So there's two parallel paths you want to be on when it comes to wealth building. The first is the protection path. So this is towards the bottom of page 40. It says, the first path is the protection path. This involves safeguarding yourself from liability, disability, and death. The second path is the wealth accumulation path, which focuses on building capital. So, the whole point of having a capital base, that is the money, again, we already talked about, that you can use to deploy to make more money, friends. Now, you know, I just give an example here. Like when you first start working, and let's just say you have a 401k and you put in, your first 20,000. Even though you might eventually get to a million, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. It takes time. So one of the keys when you are building either emergency fund, sinking fund, or any type of savings that you're doing or investing, you want to make sure we do it over time consistently. The consistency is what is going to help us build the wealth, right? And this is what helps us to eventually live off of our wealth, where we no longer have to exchange time for money. So that's why I like when Errol teaches, he talks to us about having your investments replace your cost of living. And that is the key, right? So no matter how you make your money from investments, ultimately one day you are probably going to want to stop working and exchanging time for money. So first and foremost, you want to start. So for anyone who's new here and you haven't started, that's the first. Yes, me too, Jen. Me too. I'm right there with you. Me, Jen, and I, we want to retire early. Okay, so we're putting things in place so that our investments can replace our cost of living. So I want you to on page 41, it's the right before the bullet points. It says, take a moment to think about some of the things that can get in your way of your savings goal, or what are some things that can get in the way of you building wealth. And if you have my book, you can actually circle it in the book or highlight it, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. And it says, here are some common things that get in the way of savings and wealth accumulation. The first one is job loss. The next one is divorce, then disability, premature death. Just to give you some context on disability, I had a client. She did not have disability at work. Ended up not being able. We are on page 41. She was not able to work for months because of a injury or illness. I can't remember, and basically lost the house, lost everything because she could not afford. She did not have any disability insurance in place, and so a lot of people don't think that that's necessary. They see it as an extra expense, but nobody thinks it's going to happen to them until it happens to them. Premature death. This is important if you have other people relying on your income to live, like if you have a spouse or young children, that type of thing. Lawsuits, right? Like if you are not protected, say you have a business and you don't have an LLC or proper structure to your business. If you like, I don't own anything. All of my assets are in my trust. So if you come for me, I mean, I'm sorry, you're gonna be real sad because that's why you have to have proper things in place. if there's a dip in the stock market. Like, what happened to the people who wanted to retire in 2008 and all their money was in the market? A lot of people couldn't retire on time because they lost so much of their wealth because they were not well diversified. So we talk about diversification in investments, but you also need to talk about diversification in taxes. You also need to think about diversification in loss. Like, do you have any of your money protected against loss and volatility? And then catastrophic health challenges. Nobody is saving money for cancer treatment, heart attack recovery, stroke recovery, things of that nature. So, what do you have in place if, God forbid, that happens, so that it doesn't drain your wealth like that? Right? Because people are not talking about this, but this is real. Like, I have a lot of these conversations day in and day out. And I'm trying to tell people and they don't want to hear it. But guess what? I'm gonna keep on saying it. Like Dr. Boyce, I'm gonna say the unpopular thing because I'm tired of people having to do GoFundMe when somebody passed away. We know everybody is going to die. That is a non-negotiable thing. Hey Terry, it is going to happen. So why are we not prepared? Why we got our family out here? No wills, no trust, no life insurance. And it's too much information. It's 2025, about to be 2026. It's no reason for us not to have these things in place if we care about our loved ones. Like, I love this lady on social media. She was like, life insurance is a love letter, saying that I don't want you to struggle just because I'm not here anymore. And I'm like, yes, that is what it is. Because I tell y'all my story. My grandfather, he was super savvy. He bought every single one of his kids a house before he passed away. He paid for his funeral before he passed away. He had 12 hours a day of nursing care. None of his kids had to come out of pocket because he took care of all of it. That is love. None of his kids had to be burdened to take care of him. Not only did they not have to be burdened, but he also left them mad inheritance money and houses. I mean, hello, somebody. Can I get a witness? Can we not be like that? I think we could do that. I think we do. I think we can. So we're gonna wrap up on page 42. You know, and oh, okay, Jen. I love it. So Jen is asking me to let her know how 2026 starts for me because I start 2026 in 3.5 hours because I'm on East Coast time. So yes, I will let you know. It'll be great. I'm gonna be over here doing some planning, but also watching church. So yeah, my grandfather is a great example. I really admire what he did for my mom and her siblings. So the last thing I just want to point out before you do your life work, it's on page 42. We're going to wrap up there for today. Is this? It's in the first paragraph. When life happens and we're unprepared, it doesn't just interrupt our ability to create wealth; it can undo years of progress. For some, it even leads to bankruptcy. Protecting yourself ensures that your wealth building journey stays on track no matter what life throws at you. And so Velma says she's gonna be in the bed. I just want to leave you all with that message. Do not, make sure that not only are you accumulating wealth, but you're also protecting it. And that as you move into 2026, that you are on your parallel path of journey. So as you're building, you're protecting. You have your estate plans in place, you have your insurance in place. If you need assistance with that and you have my book, you obviously can schedule a complimentary consultation, or you can go to my website and schedule a complimentary consultation. And so I definitely want to see us win in 2026. But don't feel like you have to do it alone. Know that you have support. My team and I, we are here for you. And I want to wish everyone a happy new year. So thank y'all for joining me. It was so great having you all here tonight. Y'all not turning up and everything. Y'all not already at the parties because I know some people are already out and about. Yes. I like that. So Jen said it's raining in LA because they're washing away the old and bringing a fresh new year in. That's beautiful, Jen. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, Natasha and I are gonna be with a book. I'm about to go read my book right now, Natasha. You are so welcome, Tavia. I'm so glad you could make it. Welcome to the book club. And yes, I hope you have a copy of the book. Let's see. Yes, we turning up our bank balance. That's what I'm talking about, Jen. That's the turn up right there. Turn up. Yeah. Oh, this is really great that I can do this, y'all, because I have frozen shoulder. And the fact that my arm can go up this high, that is a blessing. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Thank you again for joining me and being such a blessing in 2025. Wishing you all the best in 2026. Love y'all. Bye.